All right, two more advanced commands that I want to show you that exist to make your life easier are going to be the mirror command and also creating offset planes. So let me show you both of those. We're going to use our pseudo Lego here as an example. And these commands, I'm not saying that you're going to need them for the Lego, but I do see where they would be advantageous for you on some of the other parts that are in your current assignment, the assignment that got given to you. Okay, so let's start first with an offset plane. So let's say that I need to create another bridge or something on the inside of this Lego, right? So I need to basically make a feature somewhere in the middle of this bottom surface on the Lego, okay? And it's going to be, when I'm looking at the planes that I typically sketch on, right, I've done a good job and I've aligned my part to have, to be along these planes, but there are some instances where I want to sketch on a plane that is not one of the three principal planes that's given to me. So in those instances, it is helpful to create what we call a offset plane. So let's say that I want to create a plane that's going to be parallel to the right plane of the part. This is our global coordinates, but somewhere kind of in the middle over here. I'll do one of them over here, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offset this plane. So I would go to Reference Geometry, Plane, and then it says, what do you want to do? Well, I want to offset it. And you can see it's already starting to do this. See this blue plane here? This is it kind of detecting, hey, I think you want to offset this plane. You're right. I want to offset it. I want to flip the direction of the offset. I want one of those planes, and I want it to be, I don't know, 0.2. I'm just guessing here, 0.25. Let's do that, okay? So 0.25 is what I want. Nah, 0.3. 0.35. I'm just eyeballing it. All right, so that's about where I want to sketch and make my feature, okay? So I go ahead and do that. Now I have this plane called Plane 1, and you'll see it over here in my drop-down. That's great, all right? So now I'm going to sketch on that plane. So that plane is highlighted. I'm going to sketch on it. I am now on this different plane. So far in the course, we have only been sketching on planes that SOLIDWORKS has already defined for us, that are part of the global coordinates, or we've been sketching on planes that are part of the part that we have created, right? It's a face on the part. Now we've created a totally new plane. There's nothing sketched on this plane yet. Okay, so I'm in that plane. It would be nice at this point, because this plane is in the middle of the part, to maybe see this dead on, right? So if I go like this, right, it's kind of hard to see what's going on inside the part as I do that sketch. So what I'm going to show you now is another little useful trick, and that is this section cutaway. So if I do a section cutaway, all right, this is just an on-off, okay? I can get out of this as well, right? I can get in it, and get out of it, okay? But this will show me, this is like, oh, I've created a cut here, and it's virtual. I've done nothing permanent to my part. Don't worry, everything is still there, okay? But I've kind of cut it away, okay? So now when I go and look at this dead on, I can see what's happening on the inside. All right, so let me just, I don't know, make a couple of the ribs or something. So I'm going to kind of go off the midpoint, and let's say I wanted to make a knobby knob like this. This is totally not happening on your Lego part, right? And I'm going to cut this guy down. I'm going to trim. Maybe I also want a little notch. I'm just kind of freewheeling it here, guys. Okay, I'm going to tidy this guy up. So I don't know, I'm making this little whoozy what's it, right? Got myself a little nub shape that I want to do something with, right? It would make sense, this is a symmetrical part, right, to have it also on the other side, and I'll show you how we're going to do that in just a second. Well, actually, let me do this. So I am going to mirror entities. So I'm going to select mirror, and I'm going to mirror about, I actually need a sketch line to do that. Never mind. Let me draw that sketch line first. So here's a center line. Remember, center lines don't count. SolidWorks won't get upset with me about having a center line in my part. So mirroring entities, I'm going to go ahead and do this, right? And it says mirror about, I want to mirror about this guy. There we go. Now I got two of these weird little nubby nubs, okay? So now what I'm going to do is exit this sketch. I'm going to extrude a little bit. Let me do a mid-plane extrude, 0.1. Turn this guy off, and let's see what we did here. Right? So we got these little nubs that we've created inside of the Lego. Kind of cool. Right? Again, I recognize these do not exist inside the Lego. This is purely for instructional purposes at this point. Okay, but I've sketched on this weird sketch plane that's in the middle of my part, right? I've used the mirror function in the sketch mode to duplicate it on the other side, right? Now, since Legos are symmetrical, let me say I want to duplicate this over here in the exact same placement. So to do that, what I would do is actually select the feature that I've created here, this boss extrude on that sketch, and I would go to mirror in this feature mode, right? Then I can use, because I've set my part up correctly, I can use the original axes that SolidWorks assigned to me to get a mirror over here, right? So I'm being smart about how many times I have to draw something. Right? I'm using planes of symmetry to help me with that. Okay, so we focused on mirror and offset plane. So offset plane was creating this sketch plane, which is kind of weird in the middle of the part. We created this inside nubby thing. We used the mirror function in sketch mode to create it on the other side. Then we used the mirror function in features mode to duplicate these items on the other side of the part.